What's up, YouTube? Today I'm at the Herpin Harbins, gonna take a room tour. Cue the intro, dive on in. Alright, so today I'm with Josh and Alicia, the Herpin Harbins, and I came over here to get a hognose and decided to film a room tour. So you wanted to show off some projects and some animals and stuff, so I'm going to basically let you take the lead.
Well, so here is kind of our collection of hognose that we have. These are mainly adults through here, and then we have our sub-adults, and we've got babies on the other side we can show, but one of the projects that we're looking forward to this year is a project that we're carrying on from our very first clutch that we had a couple years ago. We ended up acquiring an Arctic shadow female that was het toffee belly, and we ended up breeding her into some toffee belly combos. And so this is one of our girls. Her name is Fingers because she likes to eat my fingers. And so I'll show you real quick, if I can without getting eaten, what we're looking at with the shadow gene, which is a family trait. But if you look, she is Arctic, and you can still see like her highlights of her white around her saddles. But with a difference with this particular line is those saddles are so dark, they're so rich, you're not going to get that blanching out like you do with some of the Arctic stuff. And then if you could appreciate how she's a conda too, so you can't see it as easily, but almost like this blushing below there is where that shadow gene comes from. So what I'm hoping when we breed her back into some toffee belly, that we're going to get some toffee bellies that have a more intense, rich color, that it's not washed out like we get with some of the Arctic. I like Arctic, but it can blanch the color out, and we're kind of color freaks. And so that's Fingers. And then this is her sister. Very original name, Stripe, but you'll see why. She is a super conda, and I'm almost certain she's Arctic. Of course, she's in shed right now, but she's got a beautiful stripe down her back, and she's going to be mixed in with the toffee belly also. But she's got a lot more like pinks and colors in her, and that shadow is just staying dark in her stripe. So cool project.
I'm a sucker for stripes,
yeah,
honestly.
I'll show you their brother. His name is Jumper because he used to jump out of his container when he was a baby. So we don't really do fancy names around here, but he's a really cool snake because he also still has a lot of his striping. Then he has a really neat coloration to how his head piece extends back.
Oh, yeah.
He could have Arctic, but I'm not convinced. It's a little hard to tell Arctic on the shadow line, and so he may plow into me. But he's going to get blended in with some ladies this year, and we'll see what we get. He's got a nice little green tail, which a lot of people feel like that's a marker for toffee belly. I don't know. I haven't been doing this long enough to make that kind of assumption, but I do see a lot of our het toffee bellies have a greenish hint color to the tail, but a much richer color than a general just super conda because of that shadow line.
I really like the headpiece.
Yeah,
and that reminds me of
like flames or something on
Predator.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Predator, like
Yeah. I like that too. I love it. So he's a cool looking snake, and I probably should have used him this last year with one of our girls, but I didn't want her to eat him, and she's a beast, and so this year he's going to get his chance. But that's kind of one of our big projects that we're working on, and we've got, get your head back in there, we've got the Arctic, this is the Arctic conda toffee belly. That visual that will go into that. This is from John at Fathom Hogs. He gave us a really nice one here. You see that toffee belly there? Yeah. But he will be blended in with our girls here to kind of see what kind of super Arctic toffee belly, super conda, shadow, yada yada. Sound like a ball python breeder, don't I? But I think he'll be a really good match because we wanted to outcross, since we do have 4 from that family that will end up being kind of blended together. There is no super form of shadow, but I think just like with any of your line bred traits, just trying to intensify that by blending it back together to kind of help darken that gene. And so that's one of our favorites. We like Xanthic. This is one of our big girls that always produces every year for us. She kind of latched onto me recently, but Xanthic is our other family that we work with, and we've had a lot of axanthic babies over the years. And so she's an axanthic conda het albino, and her mate is the same, and there he is right there. And Shane actually has some babies from them.
I was going to ask if that female is from her.
That's from them. Cool. And so is your Yeti boy is from them. So
all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So those are kind of main projects, and we do have Swiss chocolate we're going to hope for next year. So those that's kind of like our next big thing that we're looking into, and we've got a lot of albino family. We have a Lemong Ghost. She's not the richest Lemong Ghost, but she's got some pretty greens in her. She produced really nice for us this year. She actually ended up being het sable, and so we've got some sable Lemong Ghost. And we ended up deciding, because we kind of outcrossed her, that we wanted to get a more intense Lemong Ghost, and so we went to the man for it. He did not eat his mouse today, but that's okay. So this is one of Jeff Gallwood's Lemong Ghost het sable.
Bring that out here.
Look at that color. He is it's like almost like a neon color when you see him in person. And what we look for when we end up getting Lemong Ghost with a sable, you will actually see it's like almost like an army green. It's a really beautiful snake. So I'm really excited to look at that Billy, put him with her next year and get a more intense Lemong Ghost sable combination. So,
yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, really pretty snake. Really pretty snake. He does not want to eat today, but I've noticed that about a third of our males are refusing right now, which is the time of year they kind of tell me when it's time to go into brumation. And so probably about 2 weeks from now, we put them in the brumator, and we'll start the breeding process. But I guess those are my favorite projects, and Josh is the axanthic guy. He likes the axanthic project.
Yep. I like the silver ones.
Yeah. We've got, our albinos. Yeah. So that's cool.
I like axanthic too, and that's why I do it in Hognose, because there's just one line.
It's one line, and well,
you don't have to choose.
And they don't brown out. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, you can see these adults. Like, she's 5. I mean, she's still beautiful gray and silver color. And we have a couple of lines of it, and one of our other lines of axanthic is a little bit more black lined out.
Yeah.
So he's got kind of cool pattern. He's a conda, but he's got a striped conda to him, and he's a little bit darker when you see him in person. So he'll be mixed in over time with the axanthic family, because we don't want to inbreed these guys, and so we wanted to hold back some other axanthic lines, just to try to keep our genes balanced. But
So I came over here to get a snake, which I got. I'll highlight that in another video and just kind of check out their room. So like you see, they built their room. They got a similar sink to mine. It might be the same.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, the Costco.
That thing's handy. Like, wash everything in there.
And all their cool racks. Definitely look out for the Herpin Harbins on the Hognose front. And they do ball pythons and corn snakes and stuff too. And they're local Knox villains like me. So, all right, until next time, guys, rock on.